Good morning. Welcome back to another video. This is actually going to be take 3 attempt of this video. Not the intro part because I haven't done this part yet, but I keep trying to go for drives to give you guys an idea of speed and turbo m42 on the road. One of the videos I was going way too fast, so I'm not going to post that and get myself into trouble. Second video, I was stuck behind other cars, so I was going slow and pretty much putting at like 30 miles an hour in a 35 and just like going, but that was about it. So right now we're going to do a quick build breakdown. Everyone's been asking what parts I'm using in the car, and I didn't want to give you guys recommendations until the car was on the road running, good to go. So far I've put 350 some odd miles on it or something like that. It's been sick. As of right now, I would 110% recommend turbo m42. So let me pop the hood, I'll get this situated, and I'll show you around. Also, before we get much further into this video, if you guys could hit the comments, or not the comments, hit the description. There's merch out for this car, which is wild. I never expected there to be merch for the Banana. But yeah, I'm gonna drop the link in the bio. It's my buddy Tyrell, Eurodrive. He hooked it up. He made 6 shirts. Stickers are coming out. Shirts are so sick. I'm stoked on them, honestly. It's got like a little like Eurodrive insignia here, and then on the back it's got the Banana, and it looks fire. It's version 1. Sorry, I held up a 2, but it's version 1, so that's when the car was still two-tone. We are planning on making a version 2, but we figured we would do a V1 drop just for you know, people that are ahead of the game. Then you'll be able to have some rare merch down the road once we come out with V2 and those go NLA, because it's going to happen soon. It's kind of a test drop, see what happens, and I'm stoked. So hit the description. So as you can see, she's pretty stock M42. Well, not stock, but block and head, all that is stock internals. I didn't touch anything, didn't do any upgraded internal stuff yet. I do plan on, with the spare motor I have over there, oh, I can't zoom on this camera. I do plan on building one, and that's going to be aiming for in like the 300s, but for right now we're chilling in the mid 200s, I think. It hasn't been dynoed, it's just butt dyno. But it feels like a solid, like, I don't know, 220, 230 horsepower if I were guessing. So let me just show you a couple things that are on here. If you have any questions, drop them in the comments, because I do check this fairly frequently, so I will respond, hopefully. Unless this video becomes 5 years old and I don't see the comment. In that case, sorry. Comment on a newer video to tell me to look back at it if that happens. But yeah, we got a T2871R turbo here. It's pretty much what's meant for like a SR20 upgraded turbo. It boogies. I have it set at 8 pounds right now. It's adjustable up to, I believe, 25. It's a twisted motion V3, I think. I honestly got it off Facebook Marketplace for like 150 bucks, so it was a wild deal. I think they go for like 300 to 400 bucks, brand new, and the turbo was brand new. The guy bought it, put it on his SR, never actually ran it. So it had 0 miles on it when I bought it. It had just been sitting in a garage for like 2 years, and it was like painted. I don't know if you've seen a couple videos back. It was black before I started driving it, and the paint just all burnt off. So I don't think it was a Cerakote or powder coat or whatever they call it, but hey, it works. We got the Amazon catch can with the little K&N breather there. Obviously, you're going to want to run a catch can on a turbo setup. If you run the line back to the manifold, it actually causes issues. You're going to be causing positive pressure in your manifold, and not what you want. And this way, if you have blow-by, it blows out. So you might be noticing this little gray dot here. I do plan on putting a different valve cover on this, because that's actually a little JB weld where it cracked at some point. We got the E30 manifold on here. So if you do an E30 manifold on an E36, you have to change the valve cover. So this is an E30 valve cover, E30 manifold. The reason I did that, you can get the standard size injectors in here. So we got Bosch 440 Green Giants. Don't mind all this. At the track it started leaking a little bit, so I gooped it up for the time being. We're going to redo that, but I want to get a new valve cover just so I can do everything at once, and not have to keep re-gasketing this motor, because it's going to be the 3rd set of gaskets since I owned it. And I've put 20,000 miles on it. So then we got the chase bays, or no, sorry, this is actually Ireland Engineering, I believe. Fuel pressure regulator. It's worked solid. It holds it at proper fuel pressure. I do have a valve in here, so as you can see, it literally holds fuel pressure all the time, which you don't really need the valve in there. I did it at one point because I was having a no start problem, and I thought that I was having fuel drain through the lines, and then it was taking a second to build pressure back up, but that wasn't the case. But I never took it back out. So yeah, the thing fires right up. When it's cold, you do have to give it a little blip of the throttle a little bit, so gonna have to work that out in the tune. But the big issue there is that my coolant temp sensor on the block here doesn't seem to be working per the standalone. The temp gauge works, the external temp gauge works, which that splices in here. So both those work. I know the temps of the car are good. It just makes it so that the fuel trims on cold start are a little funky, so you have to give a little throttle, but other than that, really not an issue. Then we are running the RM Electronic Speeduino ECU. You can see it tucked in there. I got to do a little nicer job getting it actually secured, but since I have the map line running through there, I didn't really want to like clamp it down and create issues with it not reading map, because that would throw everything off. Then let's see what else we got. We got the C18 full aluminum radiator. You obviously don't need that to go turbo. I just did it because way back my original radiator blew up and they were on sale, so I scooped one. I think it was also like the pre-order sale, because now people have told me they've gotten a bit more expensive, but it did strip out the plug here. That's why we're running a M12 magnetic drain plug actually as the coolant breather. And then for the feed setup, so this was one of my big issues. If you're doing a M42 turbo build, on your oil housing, there's literally an Allen like plug here. So you get an Allen head, you can pop it off, and you can literally run just a banjo bolt to your feed. So you don't have to do all the crap with what people were recommending, running the M50 turbo block, which goes off the back of the housing. If you watched earlier videos, you'll see I snapped the oil filter housing. I had to replace that. It was a big pain in the butt. The M51 doesn't quite line up for, well, it didn't line up for me. Not saying it's not going to line up for you, but it didn't work for me. So I wouldn't recommend going that route, just because even if you do get it to actually line up, what happens is the back of the plug here is going to hit your motor mount, and there's pretty much no way to get it in there without the plug like either getting messed up or grinding down your motor mount or doing something sketchy. So I would recommend the banjo bolt way. I haven't had any turbo oiling issues. It's getting plenty of turbo, or getting plenty of oil to the turbo. And then for the drain, I literally just welded a little bung onto the timing cover here, and it's like this 3-inch little, just right down to it. So that's nice and simple. And that's pretty much the setup, guys. So I do have to do a little bit of wire management. Obviously you don't want your wires in a hot area, and this is not the coolest. So I do want to try to either relocate it over there or do a coil on plug setup, and that would get rid of a lot of this, and then relocate the power unit here. But it hasn't given me any issues yet. I've been doing like 45-minute drives with it every once in a while, so I don't know, I got a little faith in it, but at the same time, I don't want to keep driving it knowing that it could cause an issue. So I will probably redo that end of the bay at some point and clean everything up a little bit, but for the time being, it's the basic setup. We got the eBay intercooler 2.5-inch with the 2.5-inch pipe kit, and it literally was just cutting a couple of them with a Sawzall, bead rolling the edge, and we were good to go. It was a pretty simple process. I know there's a few kits out there that say they're specific for M50 whatever. Honestly, I would recommend the eBay one because it's a quarter of the price and you have to make like 3 cuts. So it's not the end of the world, pretty easy. We got an E-fan setup on here, so E-fan runs by switch, and then all the gauges and stuff run by the fuse block jumpers. I don't know if you've seen those. They're pretty nifty little things. You can just pop it into a fuse spot, and then it has external fuses that you can run 2 things off of 1 spot, so pretty sweet. That's pretty much it, guys. It's really not a crazy motor to turbo. It was pretty straightforward. Just really the tuning is what held me back. So if you do end up going with a RM Electronic Speeduino ECU, odds are it won't work out of the box from everyone that I've talked to. So hit up on Instagram, Dairy Swap. I'll put his Instagram in the bio because that dude hooked it up. I had been having a crank no start issue for over a month, and he tapped into it for a couple hours, had me flip a little jump switch in there and reflash the whole like software on the ECU. Now it runs mint. So it pretty much runs like Mega Squirt software. It runs off the EFI tuning. So if you know how to do EFI tuning, you'll probably be pretty good with it. But the starting was the main issue that I was having a problem with. So I had Dairy Swap hop in. He remote tuned it from Germany. I'm in Connecticut, so obviously he didn't come here. He just tapped in with the computer and got it running. And once it was running, we didn't have time to actually do like road tunes or anything because I was working that day. So I literally came outside, started the car while he was on the phone, and I was like, all right, we're good to go. And then we towed it down to Pennsylvania and street tuned it in the cornfields. So right now it's really not the most dialed in tune. We just have it tuned to be safe. So like timing, fuel, all that is on the safe side. It's running a little rich. Every once in a while the boost breaks up, but that really only seems to be when it's like 90 something degrees out. So it's not the ideal temperatures for a turbo car anyway. You want it to be nice and cool. But let's go for a drive. Alright, so if you've been following the channel for a while, you know that this car is full solid bushing, so it's not like the ideal street car. There's a lot of vibrations going on, but we'll make do with what we have and enjoy some turbo M42 noises. So I hope you enjoyed the driving around, having some fun. Didn't do anything too crazy because, you know, I'm not trying to get in trouble on public roads. We'll post some drifting videos shortly. I did get tickets to Staggered, so we're going to be there for 2 days shredding. If you're available at the end of the month, pull up to Thompson, wear long pants, bring a helmet, and I'll give you a ride along. So throw a like and a sub, drop a comment if you have any questions. I hope I went over most of the basic setup. It's really not that hard to turbo this motor. I was expecting it to be way harder. The biggest hang up was the ECU. That held us up for over a month by itself, but once we got the Dairy Swap tuning, lobotomy tuning to tune in, I'll drop his tag in the description because dude was a huge help. if you have an RM Electronics ECU and you're running into the same issue, hit him up. He was very fairly priced and made it very easy to get it going. Once he got it running, Brendan street tuned it and it was good to go. It's pretty much running like the exact same software as Megasquirt, so it's not bad. Also, scooped some Zanetti wheels, so me and Carl are gonna have matching Zanettis. His are a little bit different of a style. These ones are called like the Monroes or something, I forget. He told me the name of them, but they're a Serb 2 rep wheel. Gonna be running them on the rear of this because phone dials, I'm probably gonna end up selling. I really don't have a use for them anymore. I'm probably gonna end up running the AC style wheels on the front of this and as one of the sets of rears, then those as the other set of rears. And I'm really looking for a set of Hamann HM2s for the 5, but I don't know. A couple years ago you could find those for like $500–600. Now it seems like they've become kind of unobtainium and well into the thousands, which makes no sense for a one-piece 19-inch wheel. I don't understand why they're desirable like that, but yeah, if you see a set of HM2s or SPG ones, that would be sick, but those ones, again, they're in well into the thousands, which I'm really not trying to spend on the 5 right now. That car is kind of at a standstill right now. I'm not going to do anything to this car until JZ car's done, and this car is a little bit more set up than it is right now, because I don't know, the 5 Series is just a cruiser, so there's no point in dumping money into it right now. I want to get the other cars at the point where Jay-Z is doing crazy pulls and this thing is shredding non-stop seat time car, which it already pretty much is, but there's a few things I want to do to it still. So stay tuned. We're going to be doing some more stuff soon, and I'm going to get to work on the Jay-Z car because
times with the boss and the shit, and we roll with the cars and it goes like, I don't wanna be lonely tonight. I don't wanna be lonely tonight. I don't wanna be lonely, so I spend some time with my homies. I don't wanna be lonely tonight. I don't wanna be lonely tonight. I don't wanna be lonely, so I go and spend some time with my motherfucking homies.